this was really interesting on the opening ceremonies. First of all, no surprise, in Italy, Italy got by far the most cheers from the audience. And then Ukraine probably got the second most cheers for obvious reasons that Ukraine did. But you know which country got the third most? Or maybe even tied for second with the third most cheers? That's right, it was Canada. I wonder why Canada got the third most cheers from Italy. I wonder why. You tell me why.
I think I know why. It's because we've been attacked for absolutely no reason by the United States of America. And not only by the administration, but the 77 million people who voted for him as well. The continent's 51st state threats, and the disrespect coming from the right. Kind of like this guy here in my comments. This is not a rare occasion, and it happens to many other Canadian content creators as well. Not even just content creators, social media overall. But last night, I got stuck in a social media loop. Just continuous scrolling for like half an hour. And I came across a few things that I actually wanted to share with you all. So I don't really have any specific topics for this video. I just really wanted to share what I saw. So let's get started with the first, Let's get started with the first few videos out of Las Vegas. Now I know what the haters are going to say. Oh, this video was taken at 3 or 4 in the morning. Or this was taken a long time ago. Well, I filtered these within the last, month? And you can see from the people inside on Fremont Street, they're wearing jackets and pants. So I don't think this was filmed in the summer. I'm just going with the basic clues here. It's not brain science. But to the argument that it's taken late night, I've done my fair share of Vegas trips where I'd stumble out of the club at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's still way busier than this. But aside from these videos, we already know that Las Vegas is struggling. You have that CEO from, I think, the Circle Hotel, who has this Canadian promotion, trying to give Canadians deals at par. I originally said I kind of felt sorry for that CEO, because he did talk about how he had connections with Windsor and things like that. That was very naive of me, because then I saw this video. So after I saw that video, it was really hard to have any sort of sympathy for any CEO in Las Vegas. And I did my research on this guy, Derek Stevens, and he has supported Trump on multiple levels. So it's really hard for me to have any sympathy for his hotels. Now I have another clip showing the Las Vegas Strip on a weekend.
Let's talk about it, man. Everywhere in Vegas, these is out of service. Look at this. This is look across the street, out of service everywhere. It's a Saturday night. Ain't nobody barely outside. Saturday night. Saturday night. Caesar's Palace. Lodging on Caesar's Palace. What happened to Vegas?
Now even if this was at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, there would still be people around. At least some foot traffic. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I used to be one of those drunk asses that come out of the club at 3 or 4 in the morning. And there would be way more people than this. Now this next clip I'm going to show you actually talks about the hotel occupancy rate. Let's take a look.
Did you all hear what's going on in Las Vegas? Hotel occupancy is way down, nearly 15% lower than last year. And even casinos, I guess, aren't pulling the crowds like they used to. The average room price dropped to $163 a night, Buffets are going to run you about $100. Heck, a cup of coffee is going to be $9, and resort fees are draining people's wallets. One tourist flat out said Vegas isn't even fun anymore. Casinos are cutting costs, workers are making less, and get this, tipped staff say they are earning 50% less than before. Even international travel is down. Canadian visitors, that alone dropped nearly 20%, and overall global travel to Vegas is lagging really bad thanks to rising costs, political tensions, heck, stricter entry fees. Vegas allegedly is shifting towards high-end luxury, but in doing so, it might have priced out the very people who made it iconic in the first place. So here's my question. Is Las Vegas dying? Has it lost its fun, its charm, its edge? Or is it just too expensive now? Would you still visit based on the prices that you're hearing and what it's going to cost you to go? And if you do, what would you bring back? Or have you already moved on? Drop your thoughts below.
All of the above. But speaking as a Canadian, it's more than just the high prices and hotel fees and everything else that you just said. Because there's an extra level for me as a Canadian on why I'm not going to the United States. And for some reason, all of these content creators out of Las Vegas do not seem to understand that it's more than just the fees. It's the problem with the guy at the top of the picture. So to all the hotel CEOs and businesses and everyone else that voted for Trump, unfortunately, you're getting exactly what you voted for. Now, during last night when I was doing my endless social media scrolling, I came across this next video and it's feedback from Europe. Lately in my videos, I actually wanted to prove a point that the rest of the world is really on board with boycotting the US. But not only that, but the image and the brand of the United States is going down the shitter. Last night, I got to catch up with one of the people that I interviewed named D, and he was a Canadian that sold his place in Arizona and decided that his new destination would be Spain. Well, now he's in Spain, and he was able to tell me the stark contrast between him living in Arizona versus how it is now in Spain. And the surprising part to him? A lot of the rentals are booked up for this year, but a lot of the snowbirds who used to book in the United States are already booking for 2027 in Spain. But not only that, he did mention to me too that within the people that he's meeting in Spain, there is unanimous support for Canada, whether it's locals in Spain or other snowbird citizens from around the world. He said that when they found out that he was Canadian, the tone changed. And I think that's happening all over the world right now. So I hope to be able to show you this interview later, because I am going to be catching up with him towards the end of the month. So stay tuned for the follow-up interview with D, most likely the last week of February sometime. All right, let's get into this last clip, titled How Europe Views the US.
So my parents and my sister went to Europe for about 3 weeks over the holidays, and they went to Barcelona, Portugal, Rome, Catania, and then in Sicily, where my grandfather's from. He's from this little town called Campobello, and so they went there, and they also went with my sister's fiance's mother and her boyfriend, who are from Colombia. And they, of course, you know, in Colombia, they're like, what the hell is going on over there in the U.S.? But when they were traveling in Europe, you know, you obviously spark conversations with people. And when they were asking my parents, you know, where are you from? You know, they say the U.S. and people are just like, oh, like, what the hell is going on there? What's up with your president? And I was like, did anybody say anything positive? I mean, there's got to be some people out there. Like, no one that we interacted with. In fact, well, I know like my whole family, they're in Sicily. They're always like messaging my mom on WhatsApp, like, what's going on? Are you okay? But then they were in the little town that my family lives in. And this old man had come up, and he was barely could speak any English, but he had asked where they were from, and he was just like, Trump, like the way he said it. And my parents were like, no, we don't like him. And the guy was like, you could tell he was relieved, but he was just like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's the sentiment there in Europe. Obviously, I know couldn't ask everybody, but that was the main sentiment from a majority of the people that they talked to.
I don't think it's just in Europe. I think this is a global thing now. I mean, for me, living in Malaysia and talking to vendors and partners across the Asia-Pacific region, I always get mistaken for being a US citizen just because of my accent. But if somebody asks me if I'm from the US and I say Canada, it's almost like the person has a sense of relief. I know many Canadians living abroad know what I'm talking about. And to be honest, it does make me proud to be Canadian, because anytime it comes up in conversation, I am very happy to explain what's going on in the United States and what they've done to Canada. So I know I had no agenda for this video, but I really wanted to share these with everyone. Because when it comes to the Vegas videos, it's obviously that they're struggling. And yes, it is high prices and then, the stupid resort fees and $9 coffees and whatever. But at the same time as well, even if the Las Vegas locals do not want to mention international travel, we are still making a huge difference, and they're desperately wanting us to come back. And as for the reputation and brand of the United States, you can be assured that it's not just us Canadians wondering what the fuck is going on with the United States, but the rest of the world is as well. If you are still here and watching from overseas, I want to hear your opinions in the comments. It's quite obvious that the Canadians are pissed off, but I really want to hear where everybody is from, whether you're from Sweden, Belgium, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, wherever else. I want to hear your thoughts on the United States and what the locals in your area are feeling as well. Okay, that's all I got for today's video, and I hope this gave you a bit of an update, not from a media point of view, but just from a people point of view. If you found any value in anything I said today and you want to hear more from a Canadian point of view, or you enjoyed it when the co-host made her appearance, help out my channel by hitting the like and subscribe button below. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next one.